upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully, it's disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little girl, man. And I'ma tell them where I'm at. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of M&M Mondays. It's your boy, the Maniac. We have our other co-host,
Kinetic.
Kinetic. I love it. I know you're wondering, where's our brother, the madman? He will be joining us shortly. But, you know, the show must go on. Kinetic, before we go into our first segment, man, how you feeling this Monday, man, as a Michigan fan?
I'm feeling great, man. The way we ended the season on such a high note, from the recruiting to the blowout win with Northwestern, and then destroying that vaunted Ohio State Buckeyes defense, and then getting them in their feelings after the game. We got so much momentum right now. We're going to ride it through the transfer portal into next season with Bryce Underwood. It's going to be beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the beauty about all this, right? Because Michigan, without a doubt, is trending in the right direction. And I guess, I mean, of course, as fans of Michigan, we would love nothing more to be in the playoffs and compete for a national championship. But this will give us time to start looking and getting the pieces that we need to rebuild back to where we were last year and the other 2 years after that. But listen, man, let's waste no time, Kinetic. Let's get right into it. Our first segment, let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly from Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Maize, Madman, Maniac, and Kinetic proudly present to you the good, the bad, the ugly, 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 ugly.
Wow, wow, wow! Wow, wow, wow!
Yo, I just love that one because them dudes is ugly. But listen, Kinetic, I'm going to let you get in the kitchen first, man. What was your good, your bad, your ugly from Saturday's game where the beautiful Maize and Blue took care of business in the disgusting city of Columbus?
I'm going to say, so my good is, I mean, there's so many things that I could pick, especially from our defensive side of the ball. You know, I could say Wink. I could say our defensive line, all of them guys, our linebackers, they all stepped up. And I thought I was going to say I was going to go with our guy Makari Page, but I want to go a little bit different here. I want to, and this may take a little people by surprise a little bit. I'm going to go with Davis Warren, and I'm going to say this because we've known his ceiling, we've known the struggles that he's had, his consistency. He's shown flashes at times throughout this year, but in this game, when he had turnovers, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks when they have an interception, they start to crumble, especially if you get two. But even though he had those interceptions, he was able to shake it off, move past it to the next play. And when we needed him to step up to extend a drive, to keep a drive going, he did it. And at the end of the day, he did it in the moment. He stepped up in the moments that we needed him to step up in order to win the game. It was an ugly win, but he still did it. So I'm going to give him props for that to Davis Warren for holding it together and doing exactly what he needed to do to get us the win.
Don't let Ripstar hear you give Davis Warren too much props. All right, go ahead. You're bad.
So the bad, I'm going to say the bad. I'm going to say with the bad, I got two here, and they're both kind of bad and kind of ugly. But I'm going to go with the bad. I'm going to say the play calling, man. The play calling from the Ohio State Buckeyes. I don't understand it. We had our biggest strength in this game was our run defense, our interior line, our pass rush. a Michigan fan, I'm going to admit right now, with Will Johnson out, as much as I like our DBs, the Ohio State Buckeyes had an advantage on the perimeter and with the deep ball. They didn't take advantage of it. Instead, they ran it straight at our defensive line over and over again. It's like Ryan Day got it in his head that he needed to beat us the way we beat them instead of beating us the way that they could beat us. That's just bad play calling, man. You're playing to prove a point. You're not playing to win. Just bad play calling.
Okay.
And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I'm going to counter that, but not during the segment. I'm going to counter that after the segment regarding the way to win. But go ahead. I'll let you finish. And do you have an ugly
Absolutely.
about this game?
The ugly is at the scuffle, the fight after the game. That violence doesn't need to be happening after a game. We can agree and disagree with the other fans about who was at fault or whatever. I'm going to say my opinion on this. I don't like seeing the fight regardless, but if you don't want the visiting team to come into your house and celebrate on your field, you beat them during the game. You don't step up to them and try to fight them after the game. If you weren't good enough to beat them during the game, get your ass off the field, get into the locker room, let the team that won celebrate because they earned it, especially if they come into your stadium as a 20-point underdog with a walk-on QB against one of the top defenses in the country and they beat you. Nah, you don't have any right to interfere with their celebration.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was your ugly. I know you said you mentioned like 2. That was it. I know behind.
No, I was saying that my bad and my ugly were
very similar. Could have been.
One. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So, okay. Those are good points. So, my good. I'm just the performance, man, of the Michigan team, the Michigan coaching staff. That was the good, bro. We came as a team. We won this game as a team. Offense. No, when I say offense, they did enough. They did enough to win the game. Defense, forget about it. Masterclass, right? And then special teams. Reason we won. Savada. And the coaching staff, man. The coaching staff. Wow. I mean, you were one that was very optimistic, kinetic about, I give it time. We were a little bit, impatient regarding our coaching staff, mainly Wink and Campbell. And we were asking what was wrong with Sharon Moore, because at the end of the day, this is his team. But Wink put on the masterclass, man. He really, really did, man. Oh my goodness. That was just amazing, man. We playing Mello. We playing we're gonna be playing in the pot tart bowl. I give you that. But listen, if you feel good going into the playoffs, hey, more power to you, champ. Because it might just get ugly. But that was my good, man. Overall team, I think that the coaching staff and the team, we did get it right, but it's just a little too late, unfortunately. But it's fine. Hopefully this good carries into next season. So that's my good, man. Just all around effort, team, coaching staff. That was amazing. Bad. There was the reason why this, to me, there's no bad is because we came into this game, guys, 20-point underdog, right? 3 touchdowns. We had everything against us. It just didn't matter. So to me, there was no bad. The bad, you know what was the bad? Actually, no. The bad was that we only won by 3 when we should have won probably by 14 points. That, to me, that was the bad. We left points on the field. But you know what? Luckily, they didn't come back to harness. We won that. The ugly, I'm gonna go with the same thing, Kinetic. This is what I'm gonna say about this, right? I'm gonna try to be impartial as possible regarding that scuffle that happened on Saturday after the game. Now, why is it that every time Michigan wins, remember, wins, there's a scuffle between their rivalry? I mean, this is the first time with Ohio State. We saw it twice with Michigan State. We saw it with Penn State in 22, throwing the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever. And it's always Michigan's fault. But it's the losing team that's in their feelings. Let's call it like it is. These scuffles never happen when Michigan loses. Right? So let's take that into account. Now, I get it. To just that's your home field, right? Your pride, your ego. I ain't gonna let them plant the field, the flag here, not 50. I understand talk it, but once you start touching and get physical, bro, listen, it's gonna get physical. Everybody's grown men. You put a hand on a grown man, expect that grown man to put a hand on you. But I hate to see stuff like that. I think Ohio State should have just ate it. I lost my voice. Asian Posh, DK. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, shout to Posh. I know her daughter is in the band for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, shout to her. I'm pretty sure that was an emotional game. Seeing her daughter for the last time out there as a band member. But that was the ugly, man. And also both schools got fined $100K each, and players got pepper spray or mace. One of the other. So it's unfortunate, man. These guys are college kids, and we never want to see that. So that it ended up being ugly at the end, but still beautiful because Michigan came out with the win, man.
Yep. No, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Let's see. We do have a super chat. $10. Thanks for the $10, Mello. Love you and 3M at Maniac. I have to be up at 4 for work, but congrats. We'll let you know how that new playoff format is. Keep me updated on the toilet bowl. Salute. Shout out Kinetic. Appreciate that, Mello.
Yo, Mello, listen. You're the very few Buckeye fans that I like, man. You're probably like 1 out of 8. That's it. But, yeah, look. For Ohio State, I'll give you the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, they get to go back to the playoffs. The bad, now they might not get a home game. The ugly, they lost 4 straight to Michigan, and probably one of the worst Michigan teams in the last 4 or 5 years. And they're only going to get better. So, yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for them moving forward, man. So, now that we touched on the game, our thoughts on that. Don't disrespect the Block O. The Block M looks better. We're not mad at you. So we had a couple of players into the portal already, Connect. Some of them which Michigan has interest in. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Who would you like for Michigan again?
I mean, there's been a couple. So, I mean, like, I know, obviously, the ones that we've talked about, some of the ones we've talked about, like Ty Haywood, that we're targeting him. There's been a lot of smoke around Miller Moss coming here. Miller Moss, I think, is probably out of the quarterbacks that are there the better fit for what we do for our style. But me personally, I'd like us to take a good look at Caden Salter. He indicated that he's entering the portal. I really like that kid. I'm not saying he's going to be a better fit than Miller Moss, but I think we should at least talk to him. Let's see. I'm looking through the.
This dude, there was a. How about the receiver? There was a receiver that decommitted, a 5-star. That Michigan had a lot of interest. Was it a Texas Tech or Oklahoma or USC?
It was Texas Tech. It was Texas Tech. I can't think of his name offhand. Let me try to find it.
Let me see. Toes to Kane. Jack Sawyer like a 6-year-old throwing a tantrum. Bad look, but we know the whole team is like that. Those are the facts. Those are the facts. Jack Sawyer was tough. Yeah, Posh, he was tough, but he was tough at the wrong time. Right? Jack Sawyer only one sack. 1 sack in 4 years against Michigan. And you was an elite recruit. You was a 5-star coming out of high school. And he definitely never lived up to his rating. I mean, he's still a tough player. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. So, Jack Sawyer, JT, Both 5 stars, tough guys, but you know they're nothing special. Let's just call it like it is, man. And we'll see where they land in the draft, and a lot of it has to do what they do in the playoffs.
So
I
that
love
wide
the
receiver
flag.
was 5-star wide receiver Micah Hudson from Texas Tech. He
Yeah.
put in that he was entering the transfer portal. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. He would be a good target to look at.
Yeah, man, because we definitely need a veteran quarterback, right? Because we currently don't have one. 5-4. The Buckeyes found out. Scumbag
So
Steve.
listen, I okay. Jack Sawyer plays hard and he has talent, but in my opinion, he's one of those guys that has all the talent, but he disappears in the big moments. What
Those
major
are
wins
facts.
has he had? He's been there for 4 years, a 5-star DN, and he hasn't shown up in one of the big games against us. We heard. Hold on one second. We heard all offseason how he was the best defensive end in the Big Ten, yet Josiah Stewart has better PFF grade for the season than him. Josiah
Hands
Stewart
down.
steps up and is consistent in every game. Jack Sawyer, it's like you're either going to have a big game or you're going to have nothing from him.
Correct. Now, this is before we get back into the recruiting, right? No, let's finish that. So now, being that we're talking about portal and guys we want to the end, on the defend, we fight to the end. So yes, I'm glad they defended. Nah, I hear that, Posh. I'm not. Listen, I get it. But at the end of the day, it ended up getting people maced. And in 22, they didn't have an issue with it. We seen Texas planted their flag on our field this year. We seen Oregon plant the flag on our field this year. So Michigan didn't fight. So there you have it, man. We lose with dignity. Some teams don't.
And that's the thing. Like people getting in their feelings about people planting flags on the logo. It's a field. It's a logo. This is what people do. I mean, when Baker Mayfield did it to y'all a few years ago, y'all didn't start a fight with them. When Texas came into Michigan and beat us, they did it after the game, and you know what? We let them celebrate because they earned that win. They earned the right to celebrate like that. Oregon came in and did it to us as well. They earned that right. We did it to y'all two years ago. There was no fight because we earned that win. You look at how we talk about culture, the difference in culture between Michigan and I do at least, but and people roll their eyes at it. But when we lose with class and we let the team celebrate. When we lost to the TCU in the playoffs, if you want to stay on the field, go ahead, but you don't interfere with the celebration. JJ stayed on the field, sat there and watched quietly from the other side of the field while TCU celebrated. He didn't interfere. He didn't try to start a fight. He simply watched, burned it into his memory, and made a promise to come back the next year. If no celebration, no matter how bad your feelings get hurt by it, no celebration warrants physical violence. If the other team is celebrating, you let them celebrate. You don't want them to celebrate, win the game. It's that simple. Win the game.
There you go, Kinetic. There you go, brother. Cook. That's what I'm talking about. I like that. All right, so let's kind of like dive into who we just off the bat. Bucks gonna lose the playoffs. Hold on, Shabba ranks ugly. Bucks gonna lose. This is my man C4 Collect. This is my guy right here. Bucks gonna lose the playoffs. This Lord's United, the energy other teams need. Yeah, listen, I agree with that. Teams are gonna be licking their chops. All the Buckeyes. I told Garrison. I told him, listen, there's nothing special about this team. Oh, how many more teams are better than us? Listen, you're a good team. You're a talented team. You're nothing special. There's nobody that's going to look in the playoffs and say, oh, we got to play Ohio State. And even if they would have beaten Saturday, I still felt like I know they wasn't going to win because they have Will Howard. I'm sorry, he's not the guy, right? Because you just saw his performance, and we've seen him have subpar performances this year. But I wanted to speak about, right, you mentioning the good, your bad, which I didn't. Yup. Fight to the final play, which I didn't. You're right. So's the Kane. And you got to remember, Kinetic, in 21, and 22, and 23, and 24. In the last four games Michigan and Ohio State played, you know who won the passing battle?
I'm sure it was Ohio State won the passing game.
Exactly. And in those 4 games, how many did they win? So, bro, it's the blueprint is simple. This era of the rivalry, this era, you need to run the ball. You got to run the ball. The proof is there. CJ in 21 threw for about 385. CJ in 22 threw for about 395. Kyle McCord threw for like 270 something. And what's his face? My man Will Howard threw for whatever he threw for yesterday. The point is this. How much more you want them to pass? This era of this rivalry is coming down to the trenches. Now, I love getting Bryce, right? But now we might change that. Now we might become more of what Ohio State looks like. Is that the recipe we want? Because if we're more physical, which we showed for the 4th year in a row, and it's like, well, we got Bryce and we got these 5-star receivers, then these are the things that happen. Now, I get it. They couldn't run the ball. 77 yards. Mason Grant and Josiah Stewart and TJ Guy and all of these guys, man, they put in that work, man. We that's what we needed from them. And they did it. And plus, let's not forget about our linebackers, man. Ernest Hausman, Jay Sean Burnham, they were all over the field, man. These guys were balling, man, in our secondary. Oh, man, let me see. My man Mike the Troll. Who's bringing what to the Michigan watch party? Snacks, food, drinks should be. All right, listen. You know what? I hope you guys play Ohio State. That's going to be the bum bowl, the choke bowl, the haven't done nothing in a lot of years bowl. So hopefully y'all get matched up because Notre Dame and Ohio State fans, y'all do a lot of this and y'all haven't won nothing on the field. So celebrate this Michigan year because moving forward, it's going to get Shabba ranks ugly. So, I mean, so you're thinking that Ohio State needed to pass more yesterday? That was the key to winning?
Okay, like obviously they needed to run and because they didn't want us to be able to control the clock. But when it's 3rd and 8 and you got Jeremiah Smith, Egbuka and Tate, and you run a third and 8 and you run a halfback draw up the middle. Yeah. Come on, man. That
was bad. It was a 3rd and 10. I saw the draw to Travion, and that was bad. All right, I agree with that. I think, I seen someone mention it that where if it works, that was a genius call. If it doesn't work, it was the worst play in history. So you don't. It's hard. That it's a true pick your poison kind of play. But look, you also got to remember something, man. That Michigan coming into this game had one of the worst offenses in college, not in the Big Ten, in college, right? Ohio State, statistically, scoring defense and total defense are number 1 in the country, are number 1. So I'm hearing OSU fans, well, yeah, we held them to 13. Bro, with that defense that you had at home, and our offense, you should have held us to 3 points. We shouldn't score more than 6 points, bro. But you know what? Again, like I mentioned, this style, this rivalry, this era, It's in the trenches. It's in the proof is there. I'm not just talking. It's not an opinion. That's a fact. And here we go. Look, 21. You had Njigba. You had Olave. You had Garrett Wilson. All three in the NFL, all three first-round picks. And 22, they had Marvin Harrison, Egbuka, and Julian Fleming. Now, Julian Fleming, yes, he didn't pan out, but he was a 5-star. He was a 5-star to transfer to Penn State. Last year, the same thing. Julian Fleming, Egbuka, Harrison. 5 stars. This year, again, 3 5-stars. Jeremiah Smith, Cornell Tate, and Egbuka. 4 years in a row. With the exception of Olave, because Olave wasn't a 5-star, but he was a first-round pick. Bro, they had elite talent out there and can't win. This game is the trenches. And you know what else they don't have? Michigan doesn't have anymore. Connecticut. Don Brown. Don Brown. We don't have Don Brown anymore. We have Wink. The architect.
Wink is, like I said, he needed to adapt to the college game, but now that he's doing it, man, he is cooking. He's doing everything Jesse Minter did with the 4-man rush, with the stunts and the twists. He's getting it, and he's still adding his own touch on it. Let's give Wink props, because all you heard from the haters when he was hired is that he was so stubborn. He wouldn't change his system. He wouldn't simplify things. He was too rigid. He can't adapt, anything like that. You know, like that's why he was fired from the Giants or whatever. This guy came in, a 20-year NFL coordinator, a Super Bowl winning coach, defensive coach, who designed a system that is one of the prevalent defensive systems in football today. Came into our back into college to our school, and not like when he first came in. One of the reasons I had faith in him is when he was hired, my initial thought was, okay, he's going to come in and coach, but he's not going to recruit. He's not going to want to do all the college coach stuff. And he proved me wrong right away. He said, no, I'm in for it. And he has been part of recruiting in a big way that he didn't have to do. With his resume, he didn't have to do that. He could have left that to the position coaches and the assistant coaches, but he jumped right in it enthusiastically. So when people were saying he wasn't going to be able to adapt, I didn't believe it, because he was already showing he was adapted. But he needed to see the college game. You spend 20 years playing the pro game, there's going to be a difference. There's going to be a learning curve coming to college. And you know, he got hit with Sark right off the bat, you know, and Sark completely outcoached him. But if you watch the progression week after week, I said it before, there were some weeks where he took very small steps forward, but it was always a step forward week to week. It was never a step backwards. And once he got it, man, he got it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, shit. You saw it. You saw him, you know, he started turning the corner. That Indiana game, that second half to Oregon. And mind you, he did this with Will Johnson out just about half the season, right? So, man, give a lot of credit to Wink, man. I think he's figured it out. I think next year his team is going to even be better. Shout out to Dom. Harbaugh said it. The rivalry has become unhealthy. Dom mentioned another thing, and I'm glad he brought it up, because it went past my mind. Gus Johnson. Now, mind you, this guy openly a Michigan fan. He's mentioned it. He's close, you know, to the program. And you know, he got love for Ohio State as well. But right after the win, Connecticut, I don't know if you remember, he mentioned, and don't quote me, he mentioned something. We didn't have to cheat this time. Someone could, you know, in the chat say exactly what he said. And I didn't take liking to that, because it was the way he said it. And that's not the way. I think that's something that have to be brought up, right? And it's something that we know as Michigan fans and in the country, except for the OSU fans who still cling to that like a newborn with their mother, that we cheated. Oh, Connor Stallions. We beat them Saturday the same way we beat them the last 3 years. I don't understand, but somehow we cheated, right? And another thing he mentioned, that he made Michigan the team that initiated that melee at the end of the game. I didn't like that as well. You know, don't paint the team like that, Gus. Come on, man. I like your work. I like how you do your thing, man. But I think he was wrong for that, man. You know, so we call him out when he do good. I gotta call him out when he calls a game bad, and that wasn't good at all. And Joe Clapp, man, it seemed very OSU biased. You know, normally they impartial, but that seemed kind of one-sided yesterday. But I'm glad. I mean Saturday, excuse me. But I'm glad that the good guys got it done, man. But look, also we were talking about players coming in. Defensively, let's talk on the defensive side of the ball. Who you see leaving? Who you see staying?
I just real quick to
Yeah.
cautious thing. I said right from the start when his first play when he came back in, I sent a text to all the guys. I said I think he's concussed.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That was a vicious hit, and I'm glad it was a clean one, clean legal hit, man. And
but
you know, because we mentioned that last week that, you know, of course we don't want to see players intentionally get hurt, but this is football.
And that was He turned his head, he led with his shoulder. There may have been some side-to-side helmet contact, but you can't call targeting if he leads with the shoulder and he doesn't hit with the crown of the helm. That's what targeting is.
And that's why they didn't even entertain that. They didn't even entertain it. They hit. So go ahead.
It was a tough hit. It was a clean hit, though. So to answer your question, though, the defensive players for us that I think are coming back, I think Rod Moore comes back. I think he hit. I'm not sure if he has to get a medical exception, but I'm sure he'll get one. If he does. But I think he's coming back. Does Makari Page have eligibility? I don't think he does.
No, he's done.
So I think it's going to be him. I think it's going to be Rod Moore and Brandon Hillman in the safeties starting next year. Although me personally, man, I want Hillman to play linebacker because I want him in a position to hit people more than I want him in pass coverage. That's just me, though.
It's a possibility because, man, we just flipped Young from Clemson, right? 100 top 100 recruit safety. We got Magnum, the transfer from Michigan State. He'll be healthy next season. Listen, we got some guys too on the roster, man. Some young talent, 4-stars. So look, man.
I might try Hillman at the nickel spot since it's a hybrid linebacker DB position anyway. I might try him there because I love seeing him make those tackles.
No, and we need enforcers on the field like that. Those are the guys that can set the tone of a game, man. And you know, anytime he gonna hit somebody, there's always gonna be a possibility of making that opponent fumble, and that's what true. I'm gonna start calling them. What he said, the 3 what?
Oh, my bad. I was let me find it again.
One behind. I'm D almost. Oh man, Brandon the Abbott. I'm gonna start calling them D almost state. Yeah. Listen, man, they can't say nothing, man. It's Lake Inferior State. Lynch Mac, shout to you, champ. How you doing?
I want to point out something else about that scuffle afterwards too. I brought this up the other night when I jumped on to over on Voice of College Football. You can see the difference in leadership of the coaches if you watch closely in that scuffle. There's multiple video clips going around on Twitter that you can find this at. You see Coach Moore is right in the middle of it, trying to get his guys back, corralling his guys, sticking up for his guys. Like he's right there in the front of it, trying to get it under control. Meanwhile, there's another clip where you got Ryan Day over there looking around saying, what happened? What's going on? Like looking like he doesn't know what to do. Jack Sawyer is in front of him And I'm not trying to start any rumors here saying that he took them, but to me, it looked like he was roid raging like hell. He was in assistant coaches' faces, screaming at them, and Ryan Day's 3 feet from him, looking at him like he has no clue what to do, like he has no control over his team. You see the difference in leadership. You see the difference in culture. And from what I've heard, the Buckeyes locker room afterwards, it was almost a war zone in there with people that were just going nuts and going crazy on the ones that weren't. And on the flip side, though, I want to make a shout out to Travion Henderson, class act, stand up dude. And there was another guy that you see the photo with him and Donovan, and there's another, I think one, maybe two other Buckeyes that instead of being in the fray and in the fight, they're over there kneeling together and praying together. I'm not a religious guy, but I love seeing that kind of sportsmanship between the players in this rivalry. That's a Buckeye to look up to for leadership. Jack Sawyer, the way that he was acting after the game, screaming his head off like he was throwing a tantrum, that was not how you conduct yourself. You got that. You want to put that energy into the rivalry, put it in between the whistles in the game, not afterwards, not the way he handled it. But Ryan Day is not a leader of men. He leads from the rear. Sharon Moore is a leader of men.
Yeah. He Toast to Kane mentioned that earlier in the show about he threw like a tantrum like a 6-year-old. And again, I didn't like the way he act, but I still respect him, man. It's just anybody that goes out there and lace up the pads, I respect them. But I just felt I get it. The emotions are running high, right? You really thought that this was the year. They really thought, they went in there and said, it's over. We're going to win, no doubt. And then to lose his last, well, it might not be his last game in the toilet bowl of the stadium that is, because they might host a playoff game. It all depends who wins and who loses this coming Saturday. But we'll see. If not, he might have played his last game there, and he felt the way he felt. Shout out to the offensive line. Yes, Brandon the Abbott. And you know what? Both teams, man. Both teams. But the reason why I'm going to give more credit to my team is because the whole season, our O-line has been very inconsistent, right? We was like, why put Jaden Davis back there? We can't even protect the quarterback. We're going to, his confidence is going to go out the window. He's going to get sacked. And remember, that was the #1 defense statistically, scoring defense. And I think they were #1 or #2 in sacks in the Big Ten. So listen, man, for that O-line to go into that hostile environment and give up 0 sacks, that was amazing, man. Shout to the O-line, man. They really did it. Yo, man, I also think that as long as we stay strong in the trenches, we can beat them either way. Remember, JJ was up to the task when he was asked to throw for 22, Bryce. No, you're right, Mike. I'm not saying we don't. I just don't want to get away from what made us successful. I don't want to. Yes, we cater to Bryce, but we say, listen, if we need to run it 40 times, Bryce, for us to win this game, we don't care about your numbers. We need a win. That's all I'm saying. So, yes, you're right. JJ did prove that in 22. He went crazy in that game, man. Y'all think that Zavada stays or leave? Well, I'm glad. Kinetic, you had in the chat, you had sent a picture of the #1 kicker that entered the portal.
He apparently already committed to, I think, Arkansas or something like that.
Arkansas. So I hope Paul C, man, Zavada, he is. I don't care what anybody say. He is our offensive MVP of this season, right? It's between him and Mullen.
It is a crime he was left off the Lou Groza Award.
That was a crime, bro. Like, I really want to know who is this panel who picks these guys, because how you go 7 for 7 from 50 plus, that's almost unheard of.
Yep.
That's almost unheard of, and he did it, man. 7 for 7.
He's NFL ready. He's NFL ready. Every bit as NFL ready as my Vikings kicker, Will Reichard, that they got out of Alabama last year. Will Reichard is insane. Zavada is every bit the kicker that he is, and he could get drafted. I would love for him to come back. I know TJ over on Voice of College Football doesn't think he's going to come back, and I understand if you can get drafted, get drafted. My thought is Zavada can get drafted this year, next year. It doesn't matter what year he declares he's going to get drafted. He's that good of a kicker. Rookie kickers in the NFL don't make a whole lot of money the first year, the first contract. I'm pretty sure we at Michigan can come up with the money to match it for one more year to bring him back if we really wanted to. The thing is we got to be able to, somebody's got to sell it to the boosters how valuable paying a kicker that much money to come back is. And he is 100%, especially if we're looking at potentially starting a true freshman quarterback next year, having a kicker like Zavada to be able to fall back on. It's priceless, man. It's priceless.
Correct.
So I hope he comes back, but it's going to be up to the boosters, man.
No, he's going to get paid, man. This is, I think there's no argument here, man. The guy is, and I'm not being biased, the guy is the best kick in the nation, man. I don't think, I mean, it could probably be debated, but I've watched, I don't only watch Michigan football, man. I watch college football across the board. And I haven't really seen a kicker like Zavada, man. The guy's he's just, and then he's on the money with those 50-yarders. It's not like, oh my God, he's just something special. Let's see. Honestly, I would much rather spend the money on the O-line. Nevada Buck, don't worry, that O-line is coming because I believe we have a 5-star coming soon. Do you think Kinetic is the boy from Bama? Because there's a lot of talk swirling.
So I don't want to give away the intel that I have because I don't know that I can. But
okay,
it's I think it's looking good. I think it's
okay.
Looking good.
Well, so
EJ
Nevada
put in a flip prediction for Michigan to get him earlier today. So
we already got a couple of 4-stars. There was red-shirted this season that they'll be good. We got some good ones coming in. I know everybody was down on Evan Link early in the season, but he's another one who made strides, who's gotten better. And everything is with repetition, man. Anything. When you first started driving, man, ain't nobody was Jeff Gordon. You got the more you drive, the better you get at it. It doesn't, and everything. So now I think offensive line, we're going to be good. I don't know.
There's a bunch of good offensive linemen that have already declared for the portal, too.
Okay, so we'll say. So if I'm not mistaken, it's Josh Probe or Preeb.
He doesn't have.
He's gone.
Him and
Hilton
are for sure gone.
Him and Hilton. So that's already 2 of the 3 linemen. We know
There's
Evan Lincoln.
I think El Hadi. I think El Hadi is out of eligibility. I think.
Yeah. How about Crippen? Is Crippen has any eligibility? Somebody in the chat, man. Let us know.
I'm not sure about Crippen. Someone in the chat look that up and let us know.
Let me see. Again, Chose the Cane. Boy, these fools in Ohio want Inquisition. Honestly. Wanting Inquisition on their kicker. They want his messages, inboxes. Yeah, don't worry. We get into that. We're getting to that.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see.
Nevada honestly, here apologizing to Wink.
We all listen, Nevada, don't worry about it, man. I think, like I said, I give credit where credit's due. Kinetic was definitely one. There was like, guys, take it easy. We're like, I don't know, Kinetic. I don't know about this one, but it ended up working out for the better, man. And I think that when you're a defensive player, right, coming out of high school, you say, man, this guy was a defensive coordinator for how many years in the NFL? I don't care if he was fired. This guy could get me to the next level. And you just saw why he did to one of the best offenses in the nation. How many of those players in Ohio State's offense are going to be playing on, who's going to be on the NFL roster in the next year, 2 or 3? Because we know Jeremiah Smith is going to be a first round once he's eligible, and I think in 26. So Listen, man, Wink is gonna be good, and we're gonna get those dogs. Let me see, Mike. I actually want to play Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, and okay, Mike. You know, you're my favorite troll, though. You know, you're my favorite troll. But I hear you. Let's see, man. Listen, y'all better put up or shut up. Notre Dame, again, bro. I think Ronald Reagan was still in office the last time y'all want something of substance.
So, Maniac, those three teams right there. If Notre Dame gets matched up with any of those three teams in the playoffs, are you betting on Notre Dame for any of those three matchups?
I mean, realistically, no bias aside, they match up. I think Notre Dame does match up well with all three teams, right? I just don't know if offensively they can keep up, but they could run the ball though. Notre Dame does run the ball well, so I think stylistically, Ohio State is probably the best matchup for them. But they have a shot. They could be, look, bottom line, Notre Dame could beat all three, and I could see all three smashing Notre Dame as well. So those will be interesting games. I'm upset. My brother's here.
The other state said they were going to beat us is disrespect.
Let's
good,
talk
everybody?
about it.
How y'all feeling?
We great, man. We happy to see you, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling excellent. I'm feeling.
You know, my man Phil, you know, he doing things, man. That bank account's gonna start looking even prettier. You know what I'm saying? It went from 9 O's, it's gonna be 12 O's in there, like with an 8 in front of those O's. But hey, who's counting?
Hey, Madman, we got our first transfer portal flip right here behind me.
Facts. I like it. Yeah, he definitely flipping. After the beat down in the shoe number 2.
So
Heart dude.
Phil, listen, I don't even want to hold you up. What was your good? What was your bad? What was your ugly from the game? Me and Kinetic already gave us ours. Couple of people in the chat gave theirs. We definitely want to hear yours.
Yeah, the good was the fact that we won, right? Let's get right out of there. The bad, I mean, less than 70 yards passing is not great. That would be my bad. Obviously, in the less than 70 yards passing and the turnovers combined. So the 2 interceptions, 70 yards, because honestly, and quiet as it's kept, I mean, Michigan won this game by 3 points. We could have won this game by double digits.
Absolutely.
Especially if we don't throw that interception, straight to Jack Sawyer, which is so upsetting. By the way, if Jack Sawyer doesn't make that play, he's pretty much a pedestrian football player in this game, right?
Yeah.
The most noise, if he doesn't make that interception, the most noise he would have made is saying, they're not going to plant their fucking flag on our fucking field. That would have been the highlight of Jack Sawyer's career at the other state, by the way. But,
yeah.
Shout out to that.
Real quick.
They're not going to plant their fucking flag. But, yeah, so that's the bad. The ugly is, the skirmish at the end, man. It can't really be anything else, right?
Yeah, the same thing.
I said this on Twitter. I said, because somebody tweeted, how dare they plant their flag on the field, whatever. Like we didn't do it in 22, but that's neither here nor there. But either way, I was like, man, like, shouldn't they be in the locker room hearing the loser speech at this time, right? Like, you go to the locker room, you hear this, go listen to Ryan Day tell y'all about, how y'all are winners in here, even though you lost out there. But instead, they decided to get violent, and Michigan was up for the violence, I guess. But yeah, so that's the ugly. But shout out to everybody here in the chat. Shout out to Kinetic for holding it down in my absence. Shout out to my brother, the Maniac, holding it down in my absence. I appreciate both of you.
No problem.
Phil, I don't know if I'm doing as good a job as I'd like, but
Nah, you good, bro. You good. You're cooking. You was cooking. Don't worry about it, man. You
Yeah,
you
yeah.
apron certified. So so pretty much we gave our thoughts on the game. We spoke about it. You know how we felt about it. You know how Michigan won. You know how they were, able to win the game. It was crazy. It met Michael. And he has to want to check. Says, "Oh my god, oh my goodness, Mama's a mess." And then we kind of were getting into the recruiting. Troy, what up, brother? Regarding, that's it. The floodgates has opened, transfer portals open,
Yes,
people
sir.
are transferring left and right.
It's crazy.
Something that Michigan already has mentioned that they're gonna go heavy in, and we know Miller Morse is one of them.
Mhm.
Now I know we are also in the group chat with TJ and John and Johnny, and I know Kinetic and TJ kind of went back and forth on how to Miller Morse or what's the quarterback from Liberty again? Kinetic, you mentioned?
Caden Salter.
Yeah, Caden Salter. So we're gonna need regardless, guys. My fellow Michigan fans. Yes, we getting Bryce. I love it. But you need a veteran. God forbid he sprained his ankle, might be out 2 weeks. All right, Jaden Davis comes in. What experience does he have? We don't want to lose a step. You bring, but that's if someone is willing to take, ride shotgun. I don't know
Right.
who's going to be willing to ride shotgun. So we'll see how that
Shout out
plays
my
out.
brother Garrison. Brother Garrison just entered the chat. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
my opinion, and I've said this before. I personally, okay, if we go into next year with Bryce Underwood as starter day one, I think we're going to be fine. There's going to be growing pains with a true freshman starter, especially when we go on the road. But I think overall we're going to be fine. That said, though, I still think that the smarter route is to get a junior or a senior that's planning on being in college for one more year, wants a big stage to showcase their talents so they can go to the NFL. Bring them in, let them tell them, it's you're going to be the starter. You're still going to have to beat Bryce out in camp, but as of right now, coming in, you're going to be the starter, and we're going to work Bryce Underwood in the same way that we did JJ during the 2021 season with Cade. The reason I say that is, I mean, Bryce even said himself he didn't expect to start day one. He referenced Trevor Lawrence, who
He
didn't
said
start.
that. He said that when he was committed to LSU.
Correct.
Right.
But that still was his mindset, and I haven't seen anything from him that says that's changed. So if that were to be the case, I think he would be fine with it.
Yeah.
I still think that that's the best way to go with this next season, at least, especially the first half of the season. But we're not going to get a good quarterback to come in and do that if we're like, well, you're going to start the first few games and then whatever. So let them have their season, work them in like we did JJ, but still make sure like you got to beat them out. You still got to beat them out in camp.
So here's why I'm skeptical about any of those top guys, Caden Salter or Miller Moss, coming to Michigan. Why I don't believe this would be the reason that they wouldn't come to Michigan is because of Bryce Underwood. And no matter what the coaches tell them, and they may even feel that way, the coaches may be like, yo, you're going to be the guy, we try and work this guy in, whatever, we're going to give him some plays. I believe that they would believe that, right? The problem is, and I talked to Kinetic before the show, before I had to, do this course. The problem is, once whoever that is, if it's not Jesus Christ playing quarterback, whoever that is throws 1-2 interceptions, the entire state of Michigan is going to call for Bryce Underwood. You know what I mean? Once that first bit of adversity hits, people are already chomping at the bit. They want to see number 19 on the field. With all the emotion that went into getting this flip, right? The emotional connection to the state, to the university, that everybody who roots for that university has, they aren't going to want to see this person would have to be so stellar, right? And when I say stellar, I'm talking JJ McCarthy on 3rd and long stellar in 23, right? they would have to be that level amazing. They would have to be Jaden Daniels Heisman Trophy campaign amazing, not to hear the noise that is, 100,000+ calling for Bryce Underwood to get in the game.
Yeah, but
I just think that's where being like the will of the coaches has to be strong. Like you can't cave to the fan pressure.
Sure.
And I think Coach Moore gave into fan pressure earlier this year with switching from Davis Warren to Alex Orji and Alex Orji to Jack Tuttle.
I believe that too.
Back. And so I think that he would make a point to not cave to that next year if that were the case. And I think, listen, if the quarterback's not going to come in here and be willing to go to battle with a true freshman and keep the job and win the job, play at the highest level.
But I don't think that's not the issue I'm talking about.
Let that true freshman push him to keep the job.
That's not the point.
I don't want him to come in.
The point is either one of these guys can come in here and beat Bryce straight up, head to head, and all the spring practices, fall practices. Bryce could be both of them could come. Bryce could be QB3 because that's how far down the depth chart he is, because both of these guys are better than him. Include Jaden Davis, could throw him in there too if he stays. Bryce could be QB number 4 in terms of the depth chart. It's not going to matter. The noise, and by the way, the coaches who could be strong-willed and be like, "Yo, no, we're not caving to this pressure." The whoever is playing quarterback is that's who the real pressure is going to be on. Whoever that starting quarterback is out there with a name not Underwood on the back of his jersey, he's going to be the real victim. But hopefully, that is not the case. I will stand down. I'll be the first to say I was wrong if that does happen and it's not the case. But right now, I feel like that is the case, and that's what's going to happen. It's different from even a situation. I hate to go here. The other state has a completely different situation, right? They got the number 2 quarterback in this class. Number 1, if you go to Rivals, right? They have him above Bryce on Rivals. The difference is, though, and he is also an in-state guy. He's from Ohio. But the difference is, that they have other like the entire state of Ohio isn't emotionally connected to Tavian St. Clair. Because reason number 1 is because there hasn't been a quarterback desert at the other state for years. Before JJ McCarthy, it was probably Chad Henne, who was the last for real solid quarterback. All due respect to Shoelace. He wasn't
Chad Henne,
he was electric, but we always knew he wasn't.
Absolutely, and he's a legend at Michigan, right? But
and remember, he also was playing behind Tate Forcier, right? He wasn't just a starter off the bat.
Who both of them were like freshmen, weren't they? Weren't they both?
Yeah.
I'm beat him up. Minority here, but I actually like Tate Forcier.
I did too. But with Tate, what happened was,
remember remember that game he won at Notre Dame?
Yeah, he didn't win at Notre Dame. He won in the big house.
Well, yeah,
he cooked Notre Dame. I remember that. Tate Forcier was a beast, but then he just started choking, man. He was athletic as hell. But it was just too hard to overlook Denard. He was just something different. And he's the one that saved Michigan during the dog days, was Denard Robinson. That's why kept people watching Michigan. We were bad. But as far as, we were. The freshman quarterback, you mentioned it right? Chad Henne was the last true freshman. We also had a true freshman running back that year by the name of Mike the Legend Hart.
Absolutely.
These guys did win the Big Ten as true freshmen. We went to the Rose Bowl. A guy by the name of Vince Young, some of you might know who he is. He went bananas on us in that Rose Bowl. He ran for 4,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, and we only lost by 2 points. They needed a field goal late. But the point is this. I get what you're saying, madman. And Kinetic too, again, I'm the fence here. I'm the arbitrator. I could see, yes, donors, even the fans. What do you mean? We spend X amount. Why Bryce ain't out there? Guys, if he's not ready, he's not ready. I agree with that part, Kinetic. Let's not get him in there and just force him out there, right? If the baby can't walk, don't throw the baby off the walker. That baby gonna get hurt out there. So let's see how it plays out, but you have to get a veteran. We need someone with experience because in case things go left, because it can always go left, right? Or if he gets injured, that's part of going left. Or maybe Bryce is just, all right,
First of all,
we
don't put that in
mix
the
him in.
ethos.
We'll mix them in, right? We'll say, okay, week 1, we know who we playing. We playing White Castle A&M, our first game. So you know, if he's not the starter, he's going to get reps regardless for that game. But then week 2, we go to Oklahoma. That's where you're going to want somebody experienced. If it's Bryce, I'm all good. As long as we got the right people on the outside, we got a good, solid O-line, and that defense is cooking, we could definitely go in there and win.
By the way, absolutely. I agree with that 1000%. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We got 209 people in here. We need 209 likes. I promise it doesn't cost you a penny to be a little friendly. That said, shout out to my guy Rip Star and thank you for the 199 super chat. He says Rip Star is the greatest. Woo! And then I need my man.
Stupid.
Hey, yo, that's
my guy, Rip.
And because Rip Star is the greatest,
I'm the best there is. Woo! 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 Woo!
make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to Garrison, who is always a good sport. I saw his I got to see pieces of his show tonight. And shout out to him and his co-host over on Voice of College Football Buckeyes. But I got a text message from Marmar who said, "Yo, Garrison is live. We about to go cook him." And
we did.
They was on his head top. I saw that. I saw they were on his head.
There, but I was in the middle of a podcast with some of my Vikings guys.
Yeah. I was Garrison. But you know what? I'll catch you in the chat, man. We're not going to even do this.
Garrison's a good guy, man. Earlier, I thought I pissed Garrison off on Twitter. I had to shoot him a text message like, "Yo, it's all love, man."
Garrison's my guy, but again, the arrogance, the arrogance of an Ohio State fan. They're so blinded.
Garrison.
They all blinded by their arrogance. We're the mighty. I don't know what 5-5 seasons are. And I said, well, you know what choking is.
That's a fact. And look who it is, the legend himself.
It is the Don. The Don.
The Don.
The Don.
How you doing?
I try to leave. They keep bringing me back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pulling me back in. Thank you.
Listen,
go ahead,
Dom. Before you get in the kitchen, Dom, I want to give a shout out to my man Dom, man. He's another one from week 1, man. A lot of the shit he said came to fruition, and I'm glad you kept it real. And from early in the season, you said as long as we could get that one game at the end, that's all. And week leading up to it, Dom. You sent me messages. You said the pressure's getting to Ryan. You kind of saw it. Yeah. I need those lotto numbers, Dom. You saw it. I need you to see these numbers.
No doubt.
Nah,
we're going to bring everybody
Dom.
up
Go ahead,
a time. After Dom, Lich Max is next, then Marmar, then my guy DK. Prepare yourselves. What's good, Dom?
Hey, before I got some stats for you guys.
Yes, sir.
And before I get into that, I just want to say thank you, all of you guys, having me on all year, and just the fun and everything. It's been great, and I just wanted to say thank you again.
No doubt, man.
Welcome.
No doubt. Thank you.
Hey, Garrison, did they make these back in 2014? I don't know if they were these available in 2014. I don't
crazy.
That was available.
Shout out to John Diadamo too, and the guys over at Voice of College Football.
John, what's going on?
I I was watching a lot of the post-game stuff here, and I caught the Michigan podcast today. And I copied the stats. I got a reference. I don't want to get copyrighted or any of that stuff.
There we go.
But Steve put out some stats for this game that I didn't know, and I thought you guys would enjoy. Saturday, QB hits and pressures. Michigan had 20. Ohio State had 2.
Jesus.
No punts in the fourth quarter by Michigan since 2019.
Damn.
Michigan possessed the ball for 13 of 15 minutes of the fourth quarter on Saturday. OSU ranked number 2 coming into the game the last 5 years in a row. They've lost 4 straight. Only 1 Big Ten title to show for it. 0 national titles. Finally, this was my favorite stat of them all. The most expensive roster in college football finishes fourth in the Big Ten.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey.
How about that?
There you go. I know
How about
Garrison
that?
likes the stats. So.
Yeah, we got to
Thank
get
you,
an
Dom.
Austin Powers laugh in for that. It's just not right. Shout out to Dom, the statistician. Hey, we actually need you to come up every week, be the statistician. Hit us with these one-time facts, man. That's dope. Yes, sir. We're gonna get some other guys on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Of course, Dom. Lich Max, you're next. How you feeling, sir?
Oh, this guy.
Lynch.
Unmute your mic, bro.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Especially after the win on Saturday. Oh, was it not working? Hello, can you hear me?
No.
I was just saying I'm feeling good, especially. I was just saying I'm feeling good, especially after the win Saturday. And I'm glad to see that it happened. Just like I think I was the first on this podcast to say it was going to happen. It was going to come down to a defensive battle, and our defense was going to have to stand up, and that's what happened. Our defense stood up and held them to 10. Would have been nice to hold them to a little bit less, but
Absolutely. Absolutely. The defense definitely showed up. Wink Martindale. I know we haven't spoke about it since I've been here, but Wink Martindale saved his damn job. The last 4 games, Wink Martindale coached like somebody came over, whispered in his ear, "They're gonna fire your ass."
You know, it's almost like just like predicted that this would happen.
I mean, maybe he watched some of the older episodes from the previous games and saw what we were saying and decided, you know what? I should probably step up and make sure that I do a good job this Saturday.
This looked more Jesse
Otherwise, they're going to get rid of me.
Mike McDonald than it did earlier in the season, right? In fact, he did better. This is going to be blasphemous. He did better than both of those guys did in this particular game. That's crazy. Lich Max,
where I heard it, but
I always appreciate you. We'll bring you back.
I heard it reported somewhere that during the bye week, that
one day,
Coach Moore
and he said I had to turn it down
had a
because of copyright
conversation meeting with Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter, and they went over a lot of that stuff. And that's in large part the difference that you saw in both offensive and defensive play calling coming out of the bye week.
That makes sense. My guy Mar is in the building.
What up, though?
How you feeling, sir?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, listen, like y'all said, Wink cooked it up. See, this is my thing. The game should have been 13-3. Just in my opinion, because of that pass interference. That was
OPI.
Yeah. That should have, and they bailed him out with that.
By the way, he had all 3 of those were pass interference on him.
Exactly.
Even the the Jair Hill one, I guess, is like maybe.
He ran into him though. He ran
straight into him.
He got my man's face mask, and they gave a PI to
Yeah.
Quentin.
Zeke.
That was Quentin that time.
Oh, Quentin. You're right.
Yeah,
Quentin. It was
Yeah.
Quentin.
That's
Johnson.
crazy.
So the game, so Michigan really dominated OSU with the
Absolutely.
squad we had. Listen, with the squad we had, the season we had. Yeah, I told you what it was. I believed all the way. Every game we played, we was gonna win. That's just how I feel. Cause I'm a true Michigan fan. I'm not saying nothing to anybody else. I'm just saying I believe that we can win any game because that's just what the culture has been built the last 3 years. And we was doing all right before we went on this run with Ohio State. We was okay. You know, Harbaugh, you seen Harbaugh trying to build it and try to get the right staff every year. You know what I'm saying? So we got used to, winning more games than we was losing compared to the last two regimes before Harbaugh. So, like I said, we dominated Ohio State for real. We really did. Dom just read you the stats. A guy brought that up the other day about us running. We had the ball from the end of the third quarter with 2 minutes left in the third quarter all the way up to like 4 to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then we got the ball back right away because they couldn't convert on third down. And so, yeah, man, we dominated them, and they weren't expecting nobody.
Right.
Expected them to go in there and do that. Nobody.
No doubt. They had 10 total yards in the fourth quarter. Keep that.
10.
Can we get another Dr. Evil laugh?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Absolutely. Let's get that. Deserves another Dr. Evil. I never get told.
Not only that, they had 0 targets to Jeremiah Smith in the second half.
Because he was playing. Yeah, he was playing that. He's playing them safeties over the corners and helping out.
They were definitely shading Jeremiah Smith. They were doing a good job.
And they did it. Listen, like I said, Devin Gardner said it in the Northwestern game during the broadcast. Sharon Moore was putting all his energy into getting Bryce Young for them first game, the first 8 games, and then you start to see after the bye what happened after they got Bryce Underwood. Michigan was cooking. What came out is Sharon Moore stayed up for 3 straight nights, watching video, and he corrected a lot of things. It was a story that came out before the season about Sharon Moore and Bob Stoops when he was an offensive lineman at Oklahoma. He didn't start, he didn't play a lot, but he had a vision for the game. He would stand on the sideline doing practice and call out the coverages that the defense was running, standing on the sideline. And the defense used to get mad because they're like, Sharon Moore knows everything. Okay. That bow and arrow that he shot in the direction of Ryan Day told you and showed you what's to come. Listen, what's to come.
No
Sharon
doubt.
vision. He told Jordan Young that after this year, nobody's getting no more championship. Man, he told him that.
Shout out to that, bro.
He told him that.
For the $1.99 super chat, shout out to Marmar and all Wolverines in the double O.
Appreciate it, Rick. But
It's
yeah,
hard,
man,
it's hard
yeah,
in Ohio
listen.
being a Wolverines fan.
What did I say about Coach Moore earlier this season? He had 2. He's one of the only people, in fact, probably the only person in coaching at the D1 level that can say he learned under Bob Stoops and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, you said that.
What a
listen,
tree.
What a
coaching tree.
And then now he combining all that with all that knowledge. Hey, man, he put a game plan. Listen, that game plan against Ohio State.
Who was the head coach?
Wild.
Who was the head coach at Louisville when he was assistant?
Bobby. It was Bobby
Petrino.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another good
Brian.
coach.
And Brian. Brian was there too before he went to Purdue.
Hold on, Marmar. Taves the Kane has finally found out how to become a member. You should become a member too. Shout out to Taves the Kane.
Is that how you say that, Taves?
It's Taves. Yeah,
I said
it's a hockey. It's a
Taves,
hockey
okay.
reference.
I've
I
been
was
wondering
saying it wrong.
I've
Yeah,
been wondering for like a
Tays
month.
to
Like,
Kane. That was
how
a
do you
black.
say
They
that?
were Blackhawks. They were Chicago
Absolutely.
Blackhawks.
Look. Oh shit, Marmar. I brought you back. We got to drop you though.
Yeah,
How you
let me.
gonna
Okay,
bring him back on
but
just
let
to
me
say we
say,
dropping you
hey,
again?
yeah. Hold on. Let me say this though. The top. Okay, you see what he did with the talent he had. We were down Donovan, Colston, and Will Johnson, and he put out a coaching clinic. That shows you Sharon's vision because now he had time in the bye week prior to invest more time after he got Bryce because everybody was trying to get Bryce, including him. So that took up a lot of his time.
No
So
doubt.
once he got once we got Bryce, you see, the whole 360. And then
Yeah.
imagine this. He get top 5 talent. Offensive linemen, defensive linemen, cornerbacks, running back, and wide receivers and O line. And he develops it. Woo, woo, that's scary.
No doubt. And we expect them to develop them, especially
Yeah,
those O
and
linemen.
it's gonna be scary for the next 6, 7 years.
You know it, Marmar. We got to drop you because we got to get to
Yeah,
other
go blue,
people.
man. I
But
appreciate
go
it, man.
blue.
I
Go blue,
appreciate it. Yeah,
mama.
man.
Yes,
Enjoy
sir.
Be
this
good, champ.
365 days of taunting.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
Hey, Madman, I just want to point out something that's
yeah.
beautiful in symmetry right now.
Yeah.
From on Saturday. I posted this a couple other places, so some people might have seen me actually post this somewhere. But Ohio State needed a scapegoat last year, so they got rid of Kyle McCord.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted
Yeah.
Cam Ward, but they settled for Will Howard,
Right.
who
Yeah.
lost to Davis Warren on the same day that Kyle McCord beat Cam Ward.
Mm.
The universe has a funny way of working things out that way.
And in Kyle McCord's own words, everything comes full circle.
There you
Listen,
go.
man. The math is mathing.
Absolutely. Shout out to G for the $5 super chat. He says Rich Eisen is hilarious. Yes, he is. And
Yeah,
go blue.
Rich is my
and
guy.
he's a Michigan man, by the way.
Yeah. He's definitely
Detective Loki. Shout out to Detective Loki for the $5 super chat.
Detective.
Question: what type of car does Ryan Day drive?
The levels of that comment.
a Mini Cooper.
Yo. That's a good one. That's excellent. And you know what that deserves? All right. Hey, I gotta warn everybody. Warning, prepare yourselves. My guy DK is up next.
Hey,
DK
was
was
not get us demonetized again. Come on now.
Hey, I lost my voice.
Yo, DK, what's up, man?
I lost my voice.
He's been calling into all the Buckeye
Wolverines.
shows all weekend long and lost his voice.
I lost my voice.
Go.
Yo, talk sign language.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, no.
You fool.
Yo.
I lost my voice. Go blue.
Go blue.
Yes,
There
sir.
you go. DK. That's my guy. That's my guy, DK, man.
Hey.
Shout to DK.
Absolutely.
Love
Man.
his,
Hey, we
love his
appreciate you,
energy.
brother.
Love my man DK's energy, man. He's definitely a Michigan fan. He bleed
If any
blue
of
for
you
real.
act up in the chat, DK is gonna get y'all out of here.
Yeah. Don't.
Absolutely.
We don't want to sick DK on you, man. We want. Yeah.
DK, hey, rest your voice, man. Drink some tea. Rest the vocal cords, brother.
Yeah. We gonna need them.
And keep letting the Buckeyes have it. Go
Go
easy on
blue.
Karina.
Go
Yes,
blue.
sir.
Go blue, baby. Go blue.
DK, man, am I glad he didn't have his voice? Because last time we damn near got kicked off the internet.
It was getting very Shabba ranks.
It was getting real Shabba ranks. I thought. By the way, no animals were harmed during that recording. Shout out to DK. We got a legend. John Giadamo.
Hey, what up, everybody?
Has joined the conversation. What's good, John?
Johnny?
Hey, did 10 and a half hours. Kinetic was the relief pitcher at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, he was Mariano Rivera. He was the closer.
Absolutely was.
I'm not gonna lie. It's probably a good thing that he cut it off because we went way off the rails on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, way off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So John, man, first of all, thanks, man, for coming on again, man. We always appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You know, we a family. We got things cooking in the back. We gonna keep that secret. Once it come out, we'll let everybody know.
Oh, no, I did on one of my, not the last video pre-record I did, but the one before that, let everybody know that starting next month, hopefully next month, there will be a joint members only collaboration between Maize, Madman, voice of college football Wolverines, and Johnny Olden Jr. So be sure that you are there for that. All right.
That's like getting all 5 stars in one recruiting class, man.
Get them all. It's like
number one recruiting class of all time.
Alabama circa 2010,
16, yeah. They were crazy.
All of them.
Yeah. So John, we have a segment, man, that we have the good, the bad, the ugly, where we talk about the good of the game, the bad, and the ugly. I want your good, your bad, and ugly from Michigan's performance from Saturday. And go ahead, man. Let it rip.
Whoa. Well, how about with the good? Let's start with beating Ohio for the 4th year in a row.
How about that?
Everybody said, almost everybody in the media. I was watching Big Noon. I don't know if you guys saw Big Noon.
That was bad.
But I screenshot that shit when they gave their predictions, and because they all said double digit, 3 touchdown victory for Ohio. Only Woodson. That's why I wore his jersey after. Only Woodson said that Michigan was going to get it. And he was right. So all the glazing that they did all year for Ohio, and Michigan just does it. The Wink. So the good, I would say, Wink Martindale's defense. Look, I gave Wink so much shit. In fact, last time I was on this show was probably like a month and a half ago, whatever. It was closer to the start of the season, and I gave Wink a lot of shit. I did. I gave him a lot of flack.
Hold on there with that. All of us. Hold on.
Not all. I said so. No, we said us.
Not everybody. Yeah, not everybody.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did.
Not everybody, but I will say this. He was able to find some. He was able to adapt his scheme. He was able to bring in the people, change things up. People went down with injuries. Makari Page had a great run in his new position. And Makari Page, I'm just going to say this. Makari Page showed up in this game. You want to talk? Yeah.
So did I.
Yep, that's true. Yep, absolutely. But not anymore. Not anymore.
He's the coach for sure.
And look, I'm willing to take some L's. And especially when I'll take some L's if Michigan takes some W's.
There we go.
So there you go. Makari Page killed it. He laid the wood. Will Howard wasn't the same the rest of the day. It was clear.
That was a big play.
Laid the wood. Interception. It was incredible. Mason Graham taking on 3 Buckeyes at once.
John,
how about that?
John, give me 1 second. 1 second. There was an APB out for this man right here.
Antoine. Oh, my goodness.
Where the hell have you been, sir? Shout out to my guy, Antoine.
I was asking for him.
This is my guy.
I say, what's his name again? I say, what's his name? He be in the chat. He be going at other Michigan fans sometimes.
That's my guy.
You can't have one of these without Antoine. You know,
good man. He's been MIA. He was like the first 4 weeks. he was here, then he disappeared.
And let me tell you, Antoine started, and John, you were in there. Antoine started we were in a X, group that Antoine started, by the way. And he got mad at somebody who won't be named. And Antoine left the damn group himself. We just in there with no Antoine in the group. Shout out to Antoine, though.
Yeah,
What
man.
did y'all do to make him rage quit his own group?
Yo, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. It was somebody else. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk Campbell, bro. Nah,
to what John was saying though with Makari though. Shout out to Makari for the awareness on that hit to turn his head, to turn his body and lead with the shoulder, to not get that targeting call, and still to hit that hard.
That was crazy. I thought it was Hillman at first. That's how hard the hit was.
All season long. I've been very critical of him. So I want to make sure that
I think everybody has, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Offense wise, that's obviously a tougher conversation. I think if you want to talk bad and ugly, 62 pass yards, but I don't want to talk too much bad and ugly. I will say when Khalil Mullings broke out for that run, my girl and I, we were flipping shit. I think everybody in the whole building heard us. It was great. It was great. The O-line was gelling. Credit to Grant Newsome for figuring that out. Sharon Moore figuring that out. There was one path, guys. There was literally one path for Michigan to win this game, and Ohio had 99 paths, and Michigan had one path, and it's basically hope that we get lucky, and that Ohio misses some field goals, intercept the ball a couple of times, run as best you can, maybe get a pass or two, and defense holds Ohio to as little as possible. And that was the one path. And we had some luck go our way, and the kicker missed some kicks. There's some conspiracy theories out there.
Which we gonna get to that.
Yeah.
I want to give a little bit of a counterpoint here, though. I know Davis Warren only had 62 yards against one of the better defenses in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The
number one.
But I want to point out something, and you and Madman and John, you may not have been here at the start to see it. My good, I actually gave my good. I pointed out that I could go with a number of guys off the defense, or Wink, or Zavada, but I actually gave my good to Davis Warren, and I want to explain why.
Come on,
because
Brick Star's gonna get him now.
We know, I know he will. We know what Davis Warren is, okay? We know his struggles. We know what his game is, and he's inconsistent. But when he's on, he's on, okay? And there are a lot of quarterbacks we've had at Michigan that would throw 2 interceptions and completely crumble mentally.
True.
It would avalanche, it would snowball into an avalanche, and they would just crumble. He threw those 2 interceptions, and they were ugly. But he threw them, and he moved on to the next play. And when we needed him to step up and do just enough to extend a drive, to keep the OSU on the sideline, when we needed him to make a 10-yard run to get a first down, he did. Mm-hmm. He did just enough what we needed him to do. We didn't need him to be JJ. We needed him to do just enough to not lose the game. And outside of those 2 interceptions, he did. And when he did throw the interceptions, he bounced right back from it, let it go. Didn't let it bring him down. So I gave him my good for that.
I'll agree with Svada. You mentioned Svada. Yeah. We'll add that one. We'll add that one to the good.
Listen, he
you guys can cover the other stuff.
No, I get it, man. He did follow it up by handing the ball off. So that was a good thing.
He had a good run.
That
was a good run.
Yeah, no, he did. And I'll tell you this, but I think it was more of a better catch. O'Leary, man.
That was crazy. That was a great catch. That was a great
and with
catch.
the swag, he moving. He said, "Listen, I'm playing like a 4-star out here. Stop playing with me, man." He was just in the cafeteria in the university handing out cheeseburgers and fries, and now he catching balls on the sideline to beat Ohio State, man. Stop.
He does
playing
got
with
a job in the library.
And I'm not excusing those 2 interceptions. The one in the end zone, that was bad.
And you know, listen.
Those were horrible interceptions,
No,
by the
now
way.
that no.
Both of them.
Now that we on that, right? Because I've heard other Ohio State. I've been watching other Ohio State podcasts because I just want to hear what they got to say.
We're gonna get to Keegan and Cam in a minute.
Yeah.
I promise.
Real quick, we gave them those points. I mean, Will Howard throws an interception and Emil Hall returns it to the 2. Well, the reason that y'all was down there is because instead of going for 3, we went for it and got stopped. So we could have gotten points, but we want to be aggressive. And then, all right, we scored there. Davis Warren throws that interception, right? To my man Caleb Downs. That was the first one. He put them right in the red zone. That was an interception in our territory. So he's giving you points, even though your kicker missed the field goal. That's not on Michigan, but he's giving it to you on your lap. He had Hogan wide open. All you have to do, toss it over Jack Sawyer. No, he throws it because that was gonna be a stupid, but no. Jack Sawyer grabbed it. That's when we heard Gus Johnson kind of, oh my God,
Yo. First of all, Gus Johnson was pissing me off this Saturday, right? And usually I'm a Gus Johnson guy. But
I said, take it easy. Bro, I'm pretty sure he almost fell out his chair when he was saying that.
Nah, he came on himself. Pause.
Yeah, he was like,
how is he a Michigan fan? How is Gus Johnson a Michigan fan?
He's not.
Here's the
no. Listen,
to Gus Johnson and to Joe Klatt. If you
listen,
got two
I think
major
he put the bag.
Both of them think that you're a homer for the other team, then you're doing your job. But he's not a Michigan fan.
No. I'm gonna tell you. So I've heard this from numerous people that he is, and this dude that also he has a podcast. What's his name? He's a photographer. He has a podcast as well. He's a nice guy. What's his name? Isaiah Holt.
Yeah.
He also mentioned it. He said, "Yo, he's a Michigan fan, and he's not the first one." Now, I don't know.
Man. It was pretty.
But it didn't sound like it.
The world famous. I get so tired of hearing him say that. The world famous Ohio State Buckeyes is disgusting.
It was Isaiah. Yep.
Real quick though. Let's get to these comments real quick, and then we'll get Keegan and Cam on. David Govan Jr. says Makari was playing a new position. Pause. Yo, he actually was not playing the traditional safety for a lot of this game. If you guys playing, he was actually like in the slot. Eli was following Ibuka a lot. So he was doing some different things out there.
Can we get Hillman in that nickel spot next year with this game plan?
Well, Hillman, I don't know about his coverage skills, but I just want Hillman to go downhill and hit people.
That's why I'm saying because nickel is basically DB linebacker hybrid. Can we get Hillman in that spot, please?
Let's see.
What drink does Ryan Day prefer? Apple martini?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He definitely does.
Shout out to that, man. Let me see.
Can we touch on that for 2 seconds though?
DW,
that's what you talk about leadership. And Ryan Day's there with his legs crossed. He's letting the fight happen. He's not doing anything. You want to talk about just everything in a nutshell. Yeah. Everything in a nutshell that sums up Ryan Day. He's compensating, right? He's saying, "Oh, we're tough. It's Ohio against the world," and then he sits back while everything breaks out. And there shouldn't even have been a fight. Just let Michigan plant the flag. Michigan won the game. Michigan won the game. When Texas planted the flag at the Big House, did we flip a bunch of shit? No, we said, you know what? Texas beat the crap out of us. Deserved. Fine. Moving on. Okay. That's loser mentality, guys. That's I didn't like that. But anyway.
I agree. I agree 1000%. Ripstar says DW is Old Yeller, like the end of a Hallmark movie. It's time to make them go out back to the shed, start Jay Davis in the bowl game.
Stupid.
Shout out to that. Hey, John, stay right there. We're gonna bring Keegan on. Keegan, how you feeling, sir?
Hey, Keegan.
Hey man, justice is served.
Yes, sir.
Justice
Yes,
is served.
sir.
Keegan,
What
where's the
happened?
Buffs? I know you at the Buffs the last time.
I can run out to the car and get them, but
No, it's all right.
It's all right, man.
Oh,
Justice
you got
is
the camera
served.
on. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, justice
Justice
is
is
served.
definitely
And
served.
what happened last season? We're cheaters. Everybody's been cheating for 30 years. Michigan's
Yeah.
been playing
Mm-hmm.
tight to the vest, and we have to protect ourselves, and we have to go out and get Connor Stallions to um, equal the field.
Yeah.
We have to put up flags at our practice site,
Yeah.
and justice is served. The power was shaken in the money ranks and the NCAA, the media, the Big Ten, and people got scared, and they hired investigators.
Yes, sir.
And
Yep.
man, Michigan won it last year, and now we had a weakened team. We came out there and we beat Ohio State against all odds.
All
Justice
odds.
is served. God is good. Man,
Yes.
that is completion.
That's a
Yes.
fact. That's a
Beautiful.
fact.
Hey, and as far as that cheating thing goes, I just want to give props to the only, well, there were two, but I can't remember the other one. It was a much smaller one. There was only one prominent Buckeye podcast that I heard that just killed that narrative right away. And I normally don't give this guy a lot of props, but Zach Smith over on Menace jumped on camera, and one of the first things he said was, "The cheating narrative is done. No excuse."
Thank you.
There you
Because he
go.
was
And he
pissing me
did.
off.
He was
Amen to
pissing
that.
me off.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
a
don't
wrap.
agree with a lot of what he says, but I want to
This
give
is
him props
just
for that. He
an
is the only
old-fashioned rivalry at
prominent
this point.
Buckeye podcaster that I seen come on any show over the weekend and immediately shut down cheating narrative.
Shout out to that. Shout out to Zach
Yep.
Smith for that. Who I don't say shout out to Zach Smith a lot. In fact, I don't say shout out to Zach Smith at all.
At all.
But we'll say it for that. Shout out to that. Keegan, thank you for coming up, sir. You are always a pleasure to have. You are a madman. Stay blessed,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes,
Go
sir.
Blue.
Keegan. Go blue.
Cam.
Cam.
What it do? What it do, y'all?
What's going
Man.
on, champ?
Damn.
What's
Hey,
good?
I was like y'all watching a lot of podcasts, but I saw Joe Clack, and he said one thing, and I look back at the 4 times that we played Ohio State in the fourth quarter. Guess how many yards we put up in the fourth quarter in these 4 games?
Damn near 400.
Almost 400 yards.
Yeah.
That's a whole game, y'all.
Yeah.
So what he was saying was that when it got to the fourth quarter with Michigan, they imposed their will. And
Absolutely.
NCAA knew that this year, that's why they did all the allegations. It's coming out now. With all ESPN, all them, they knew if Michigan played it, even with, just imagine, y'all, if we'd have played Texas close like we did Ohio State, guess what would have happened to Texas? Guess what would have happened to Oregon? It'd have been the same thing. Because that's what we do. When we get in the fourth quarter and it's close and Sharon Moore is at the helm, we impose our will. And I remember Joe Clark said it, or I think somebody else said it. This is a Michigan thing. It ain't a hardball. It ain't a Sharon Moore. It's a Michigan thing, all the way from Bo Schembechler. So now, this next year, by us having a big time quarterback with it's finna be scary, y'all. It's finna be scary, and I think a lot of college coaches is scared that Michigan is playing ball now.
Definitely. It's definitely going to be spooky hours for the NCAA, for the rest of the country. 1 second, real quick. We got a couple super chats. I need to get them out. Dom says, talk to my 90-year-old mom after the game. She said, what was Gus hollering about? I could have made the interception that 33 made. Shout out to Dom's 90-year-old mom.
Shout out to Dom's mother, man. That's funny.
One more. Dexter Green says, y'all let Klatt off easy. He called the hole on the Mully run in the fourth when Flag Snatcher got served. 10 is bias. No suspension if roles were reversed. Hey, I might have to agree with you. Oh, Kyoki. Shout out to Kyoki. Kapana says, gentlemen, when I think of what we needed Warren to do, I'm reminded of Trent Dilfer with the Ravens when Ray Lewis told him, you can bend, don't break.
Don't break.
Shout out to that.
He almost broke. He almost broke. But yeah, he
was breaking, but he didn't break. Shout out. Shout out to Make-A-Wish Warren. Antoine Johnson said Ohio State always trashes their own program, but just wait a few days. They'll get back to the obnoxious, delusional self.
Facts.
Yes.
It'll be a couple days of this. Enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy the Buckeye tears. They'll be going back to their usual selves soon.
Yeah.
By the way, Antoine, I'm doing the same thing. I'm pulling for Big Ten to win this. Not just because Oregon is new to the Big Ten. In fact, I'm pulling for Penn State to win this for what it's going to do to the other state. Because if Oregon beats Penn State, that's just another 2-loss team.
One loss.
Two loss. Penn State would have lost twice. That's just another 2-loss team.
If Penn State beats Oregon, right?
Yeah, that's what one loss.
That's what I want to happen. But if Oregon beats Penn State, then Penn State's just another 2-loss team, and Ohio State's going to jump them, of course, in these rankings. What I want ideally to happen is for Penn State to beat Oregon. Both of them would be ahead of Ohio State, and whatever one of them is going to get a bye, but the other is going to be ahead of Ohio State theoretically. Indiana, I hope they do them justice, would be ahead of Ohio State theoretically, with a couple other, Notre Dame being one of those teams ahead of them. And the other team we'd have to figure out. But if Ohio State doesn't get a home game,
because
to the first round.
But this is why also, if Georgia beats Texas, that'll give Texas 2 losses. You can't jump Ohio State over Texas. That's going to be interesting.
I would not put the other state over Texas.
But they might do it.
May very well beat Texas. It could happen for sure. So that's what I want to happen. Just to put that much more pressure on the other state. If they go to Tennessee and have to play in Rocky Top, the last time you saw them, the last time you'll see them for the season. Shout out to that. Cam, give us your final thoughts, man.
Okay. I hear a lot of comments, especially from Ohio State and the reporter saying why they didn't throw the ball. And here's my theory right here. Even though Will Howard was playing bad, the pressure was getting to Ohio State, y'all. Our front four was dominating the whole game. So just imagine if he throwing 50 times a game, 50 times in that game. It might be another pick. It might be sacks. So by Wink Martindale doing what he doing in that game, he had no choice but to run the ball. The defense made Ohio State play to our strength, is running the ball. They didn't have no choice, y'all. They did not have no choice.
Absolutely.
So, because they threw the ball almost 40 times.
Right, which doesn't get enough. I think he threw it. He dropped back 30. He had 33 passes in this game, which is more than I think his season average. I think he averaged on the season like 25 passes per game. So they already threw the ball more than they normally did. It's just the way Michigan made them look. There were a lot of ineffective throws. By the way, you cannot tell me he wasn't concussed. He probably shouldn't have been out there to begin with.
I mean, dude, you could tell that the first game that he came back in the game. I texted all y'all and said, "Hey,
he's concussed." He definitely shouldn't have been out there. But I guess at Ohio State, you run up and down on the sideline a few times, and the doctor gives you the okay, whatever.
What
Hop
does
in
that-
the
what does
tent.
that
Hop
say
in the
about
tent.
Devin
Get
Brown?
the.
What does that say about
Absolutely.
Devin Brown if they were that quick to put a concussed Will Howard back?
First of all, I didn't want Devin Brown to play. I thought that was going to give them this like emotional boost, and so when Will Howard went down, I didn't want to see Devin
I
Brown.
thought it was gonna be like a Zach Zinner moment.
And not even a Zach Zinner. You remember they did this before. We knocked JT Barrett out the game. In come what's his
Dwayne
face?
Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Right. And
Rest in
R.I.P. to that Michigan team after they brought him in the game.
Right.
So yeah.
But the difference is, listen, this is another thing that people seem to forget. Don Brown, guys, is like he wouldn't adjust. He wants to play. Imagine playing tight man on those 3 5-star receivers. All game press man. You can't do that unless even if you got 3 Charles Woodsons out there. You don't do that with them teams. You mix it up. So once Michigan hired McDonald, who is now currently the head coach of Seattle, first place Seattle, right? Then after him, we hire Jesse Minter, who has one of the best defenses in the NFL, right? And then we bring in the architect of that defense. And what a coincidence, gentlemen, that Michigan wins all those games.
Yeah.
What a coinky.
Come on, man. Like it's simple. That's why I hate when the fans talk about, all of a sudden, they made changes, you idiots. Like you act like we won these 4 years with Don Brown on the staff still.
And if you notice, y'all, we took away the deep threat.
Yeah, that's part of it. Listen,
they were double covering Jeremiah.
I think Antoine said it in here. We were basically in a form of quarters defense, basically for most of the game, right? They were taking the deep ball away and still somehow, coming up in that run support. Now, granted, those 2 maulers in the middle were big helps in terms of stopping the run. And when you do that, you can do what Michigan was doing behind it to the other state. When you have that, you can do what they were doing behind it.
One thing I will say real quick. Everybody's saying no Davis Warren in the bowl game. Davis Warren's going to be starting in the bowl game. I can almost guarantee you that, because they're going to say, okay, you earned it. You beat Ohio. You're going to start. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some Jaden Davis. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Denegal, and even a little Orgy in there. Just, let's play these guys. Hey,
throw a little orgy in there.
A little orgy in there.
Only in the end zone.
But hey, why not? Yeah, but why not? Why not see what you have with Jaden Davis? Why not see it? You might as well at this point. You're playing what? Maybe LSU. That'd be sick.
So speaking, that was going to be my question. Gentlemen, do we know? Is there any whispers now that Michigan won? They 7-5, opposed to 6-6. So that extra win is going to get them to a better bowl game. I could see them.
Yeah, we just graduated from the.
Yeah, we went from.
I still maintain I want to play the Music City Bowl against LSU.
We're gonna play Michigan. Michigan is 100% playing the SEC team. Either South Carolina, LSU, Texas A&M. Trust me, they're gonna put us in there with one of the or Missouri.
I want to go.
I'm telling you.
To steal a phrase from Madman, I want us to go down and stuff LSU in a locker after taking their lunch money.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
the
ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa potentially.
That's against a SEC team, right?
Yeah.
Florida. Don't forget Florida. Florida is probably a matchup.
I'm tired of. We've played in the last 20 years. We played them like 4 times in the bowl.
I know.
Yeah, it just matches up. Right. It just so happens they I think they got the same record.
Yeah, they 7-5.
Yeah.
Oh man,
also,
end up playing. Yeah.
Also, y'all, they had a poll. They had a playoff with the 7-5 teams.
I know.
They had Florida number 1. They had us number 2. I swear to God, y'all.
I
Which is
know. I saw it. I
disrespectful.
saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
crazy.
that
Yeah.
was the loser playoff. And I
Yeah, the
told you
loser
guys
player.
there was a rumor again that you know how the NCAA tournament they also have the NIT for
Yeah.
the next best 32 teams who don't make it to the tournament. I
I don't want to
heard they
participate in
might
that.
experiment that with college football. Now look, I get it. Nobody wants to do that. But I listen, it gives these guys more, these young players, because now we want to get these players who are going to play a big role next season
Mhm.
to get in there and play more. So let's see how that plays out.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know if it's
man.
going to happen.
I think in football it's a lot different. You can't be out here playing extra games of football like it's basketball. You know what I mean? And those bad
Yeah.
teams need this time off, you know, in most cases, to get ready for the next season or whatever. But we'll see what happens. We got some
Yeah.
super chats. Cam, hey, thank you for coming up, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Go
Yes,
blue,
sir.
y'all. Good
Go
win.
blue.
Blue, man.
Go
Yes.
blue. DW isn't resilient. He's privileged. A liability.
Hey, that's a crazy take to call a kid that beat cancer privileged.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
well. Are you
I mean,
surprised? Are you surprised?
It's a bit icky, but whatever. No. OSU AD said he support Day fully. So do I.
Absolutely. Sign him to a lifetime contract immediately.
Yeah.
Coach
But
forever.
let me say this. And this is what I don't think is going to happen, but will piss me the F off.
Yeah.
If they go ahead and win that damn natty, please don't let it happen.
Man. They win
College
the natty,
world,
I'd be pissed
do
off
not.
too.
There's no way.
This is
Because
us
I'm going to
if
be
they
honest.
win the natty.
I'll take that trade-off as a Michigan fan every year. If you tell me, if someone said, listen, with Bryce Underwood, he's going to go 0-3 against OSU, but in those 3 years, you win in 2 natties. I said, let's lose 58-zip. Because you know what? You can say you beat me, but the question becomes, you play to win a natty. Stupid.
No doubt. If OSU wins the natty, this is me.
I take that back. I'm really pissed off.
Yeah, we can't let it happen. We're gonna be having watch parties, by the way.
Oh, disgusting. Yeah, we definitely gonna have a watch party. We got one more super chat to get to, I believe. If the Don fumbles 2 times, you think he stays in the game?
Before or after the 2024 promises were made?
The Don. Wait, fumble. I'm sorry. I'm a little lost with that one.
He's drawing a parallel between Davis Warren throwing 2 interceptions and staying in the game.
Right.
He's saying,
okay.
Fumbled 2 times, but he's staying in the game.
No, remember when he fumbled against Illinois, we put his ass out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I told you.
So
You see,
DW doesn't play in the bowl game. Come on, Rip. That
Rip,
man
let him-
deserves to
Rip.
play in the bowl game.
Rip, let him throw for another 70 yards. Come on, man. Give the guy a chance.
We'll see you there passing attack versus Michigan versus Colorado. Now, granted, it'll be a little disrespectful to put us in there with Colorado.
No, but
if
it's not like
us up, it's going to be more
play in the bowl game.
disrespectful. You said
Will
what?
they? Will
It's not like Hunter or
Shador?
Sanders are going to play in the bowl game? So
Actually, and I got to give Deion Sanders this credit. He's actually come out today or yesterday and said that all of his kids are playing in the bowl game because that's what they signed up for.
you know what? I agree with that. Though.
That's some
So
Nick
if we
Saban.
did that,
That's some.
So
if we
shout
did
out
that,
to-
I would back you 100%. In
That's
my
some Nick
opinion,
Saban shit.
this
Yeah.
is my opinion on this. That was sitting for the bowl game is all well and good when you were amateurs. You're getting paid to play. You're getting paid to play now. You're basically semi-pro.
It wasn't all good when they were amateurs either. I guess.
No, but I'm saying I understand it. Like you're an amateur, you're not getting paid. You got the NFL coming up. But if you sign an NIL contract to come to the school on top of the scholarship, if you're able to play, you play. Period.
We got a question from Antoine. Says, let me ask you a question. Who do you want as OC for Michigan? I got a few people I want, but who do you guys want?
That's a great question. I mean, that's something we've discussed many times on this show. Um, I know it's not going to happen, but listen, man, I've said it, man. If Lincoln Riley gets canned, bro, bring him to Ann Arbor. We know Lincoln.
Let's go.
Look at his track record with quarterbacks with the talent of a Bryce Underwood. And guess what he does? They win Heismans.
Ripstar said Loxley.
I
you
would
mean
like
homie from Maryland?
He was the play caller, the national championship for Bama.
I mean, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. There was a name that I saw
Wasn't he
recently
just
that I really
complaining
liked.
about fourth-string guys scored a touchdown on him?
Yeah, I want a former head coach
who
is extremely experienced as an OC. I want somebody like a Tom Herman.
Who's the hotshot assistant coach with the Falcons right now?
Oh, what is his name? I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name. I want Jordan. I
didn't mean to interrupt you, John. My bad.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I want Jordan Davis.
Okay.
That's who I said weeks ago, and you guys were like, "Who? No, we don't."
Well, I didn't.
He mentioned Antoine
Jordan
mentioned
Davis, North Texas OC.
The Lions.
Maybe
the
you
Lions
did say
OC
at one time, like early in the season. But I mean, I've been on the Jordan Davis train now. We just did our ideal head coach DC OC. He was my OC then. Jordan Davis. Antoine said Ludwig basically. I don't know if Ludwig leaves the Lions to come to the Wolverines, but
no. Travis,
they definitely got some money.
Talking about Joe Craddock from Tulane. I have heard his name thrown around a few times.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're just gonna need somebody. We're gonna definitely need somebody not named Kurt Campbell. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And because we can't why
Garrison
Sharon Moore is about to inherit, we can't mess it up.
What up, though?
Hey.
Mama, you all right? You need to go
Marmar's
Yo, you need to sleep.
Nah, bro, listen. Yeah, I heard that name too about the Tulane OC. Like I agree with you, John. We need a guy that's experienced that can, I'll call anybody, outwit anybody. And I like the Tom Herman because Tom Herman is a dog.
I'm not big on the Tom Herman thing, but I'll say this: if we don't bring him in as an OC, which I understand we wouldn't, let's make Jordan Davis the highest paid wide receivers coach. Bring him in for that.
Yes,
I'd be down. Because Ron Bellamy ain't getting it done at that position. He might stay as a recruiter in some capacity, but he got to go.
There's a Falcon.
We're not getting the production from that position.
I remember reading something. I think it was earlier today, and I can't remember his name now. But I remember when I was reading, I was like, "This might be a good candidate." No. I can't remember his name now. Somebody in the chat. He's on the Falcons.
That right there, I mentioned earlier, gentlemen. You saw it where he said, I want an OC that doesn't want to abandon the run. And I mentioned that bringing in Underwood, I don't want us to change our identity. I want us to be more flexible. We want to spread it out more. But why go away from what's been working, right? You know the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So,
but at the same time, we got to open it up if we're going to get the
receivers. We are. No, Kinetic, I get it. But the point is this, right? We get to the Ohio State game next season, right? It's obviously, again, we're tough in the trenches. Oh, we brought in this 5-star receiver and this 4-star, and let's sling it around for Underwood. Then Michigan loses 30-27, and now we hear like, why we didn't run the ball more? Oh yeah, you're right. But I just want it to be balanced and just go with what's working. That's it. He doesn't have to throw for 500 yards every game because all the name of the game is to win. You
Right.
play what Herm Edwards said. You play to win the game. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Donovan, shout out to you for the $2 super chat. Says hearing about Ollie Gordon in the portal would be perfect. Man, Ollie Gordon didn't have a season. I'm sure he thought he would have this
I'm
year.
not familiar. Who is he? I don't know what Ollie Gordon.
Ollie Gordon, running back for
from Oklahoma State.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, I thought he went pro. Did he go pro? I could have sworn he was pro.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Real
Zach
quick,
Robinson is the name.
we
that I was
didn't
trying to
do
think of.
this. I do need to play this clip. I saw some things in here about Garrison. Shout out to Garrison, who did make an appearance in the chat for a little bit.
He was in and
before he
out like
got
a
outta here.
perfect. He was in and out like a perfect robbery, man.
Yeah. This is what Garrison had to say the week before or the week of the game.
Michigan win Saturday.
I don't know. What if there's a recount in the election? And I don't care about the ifs. How about you answer me this? Answer me this. In the depths of your heart, and I mean in the depths of it, in the depths. Actually, no, I'll answer it for you. You know good and doggone well what's about to happen Saturday. You know it. I know it. The rest of your fan base knows it. The national media knows it. Every podcast out here knows it. John knows it. TJ knows it. Maize Madman knows it. Who else knows it? Johnny knows it.
A lot of shout outs. A lot of shout outs.
You all know it. I have been saying this since the beginning of the year, and I'm going to say it even more so now. Hellfire and brimstone. Hellfire and brimstone is going to rain down on you guys. God, we're going to kick your ass. And yeah, you know, I said I was going to wait. I know we both got to go here.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Wow.
Fire and brimstone, huh?
Yeah.
How about that?
Brimstone.
How about 13
like
and
it's
Michigan? How about that?
It looked
How
like
about
it's
that?
a HAIL storm in Columbus now.
That should look like a campfire. Stony fire. There was little camp. Listen. You know, it couldn't happen to a better person.
No, that's real.
I've been on here going back and forth with Garrison many times, right? I told him, but again, that arrogance of the Ohio State fans, it just oozes out. It blinds them because there's no way you could beat Ohio State. It's either the referees called a bad call or they didn't play well. You didn't do nothing.
Right.
They just didn't play well. But when they beat you, we the mighty Ohio State. This is why we so good. He tried to say
Hunter Stallions.
He tried to say
ours show up doing when they had the lead.
So look what he say. He say it wasn't that Michigan won the game, is that Ohio State lost the game. I say, here we go. So I had to turn it off.
He wasn't the only one though. Garrison wasn't the only one.
So I see no way that your defense is going to be able to keep that energy up. I think we control this game from start to finish. Ryan Day already came out and said losing the last 3 years was the only thing that's harder in his life was losing his father. I think you're going to see it. I think what he did to Indiana is going to be 10 times worse. I don't think this game's going to be close except for the initial kickoff. And my score prediction is 51-3 because you guys have an elite field goal kicker. Bucks.
Hey, yo, son. Okay.
Well, he did. He was right about the elite field goal kicker.
That's true.
He absolutely was.
No, and it was.
absolutely was.
Oh man.
And
That said, I said 10%. Look, we were realistic on our show.
I picked us to lose. I keep it real.
We picked
I
Ohio.
No,
didn't.
you did not. You did not. I know that. You
I
right,
did
man.
not pick.
I picked
I did
Michigan to
not
lose.
pick us to lose at
We
all.
picked
But not
Ohio,
that
but
bad.
I will
Not
say
that bad though.
I said
Not at all.
10%. I said 10% chance. 10% chance, and I laid out exactly on our show on Tuesday. I laid out exactly how Michigan could win, and it pretty much followed that playbook to a T in terms of holding Ohio down, in terms of turnovers, in terms of luck. All those things happen. All of them.
Shout out to Detective Loki. Ohio State never loses. They just run out of time. I feel like this is like a Michael Jordan quote. Shout out to Detective Loki. Ripstar says, shout out to Johnny 0-4 making great post-game content. Absolutely. Unbelievable, bro. But this one, ladies and gentlemen, takes the cake. Hold on to your britches.
Hold on.
This is going to be a beatdown of biblical proportion. I'm telling you what, right? I'm getting fired up. I'm going to tell you what. Tomorrow, Devin, tomorrow, it's all going to happen. Angry Ryan Day is coming back. He's coming back. He's going to annihilate him. And you heard it here first. In the fourth quarter, after we go up 3 touchdowns or even 4, he will go for 2. What's up,
and why is he going to do it, Eric? Why is he going to do it?
That was some straight WWE right there.
They what he told him to.
Oh,
because he can't go for 3.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Football
And that, my friend.
Listen here, brother.
My friend.
He
That's why you don't do drugs.
When the Buckamaniacs run wild on you, brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
listen,
who was the dude with the mask on, though?
Yeah, the assassin. Yeah, you know, listen.
Hey.
It's what's the dude from the Michigan State fan from the radio? Him and Rico Beard. Valentini, something like that. I don't know his name. How you pronounce it.
They had Deathstroke and Peter Griffin on their show. Like what?
Yeah. So there's a Michigan State so he calls Michigan a cult. But my man, I'm gonna give you 3 characters already. Brohio, weirdo. That guy, his name is Assassin Buckeye with a mask on, weirdo, and that Bucknut that always dressed like a lunatic in every Ohio State game. He dresses
the big nut.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. So you're telling me Michigan is a cult? Look at them. That's the epitome of a cult. It's a weirdo fan base. They are weird. Listen.
Man, that was dangerous.
Bro,
that looked dangerous.
How about the fact
that looked dangerous? Like you don't walk. It was me and Maize already talked. Me and Maize man already.
No rip.
Hey, me and Maize man already talked about this. That's like that stuff where we talked about Maize man, them walking down the street. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say it over your video, but that's like them walking down the street.
You want to talk about
yelling at wild ass shit. That's what that looked like, bro. Like,
what the fuck? About a cult? How about the fact that Ryan Day's son has to have a police escort to school because of death threats to their family?
That's crazy.
And
he had to be escorted to and from school by police because of death threats from their own fan base.
Yeah, no, it's an atrocious fan base. I dislike them as a whole.
Hold on, Maniac, because we about to let you go. We about to let you do your thing. Dem Vocals Ones, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says, I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, been living in Columbus almost 16 years. The city is in mourning. They are shell shocked.
I love it.
And great on them. Marmar, we're gonna drop you down. It's time for the Maniac to do what he does best. We are here. We have arrived, and only like he can.
You already know it's your boy, the Maniac. Now, with that being said, let's talk about it. And we talking about the OSU fan base. Oh, I've been waiting for you guys. I've been waiting for you. Let's talk about it. Let's start it. Sharon Moore is in over his head. What happened, guys? What happened, guys? Is he still in over his head? Yeah. Shut up, stupid. Right? Cal McCord. Let's talk about it. Cal McCord. He's the reason you beat one of the worst Ohio State offenses in history. Well, I'll tell you this, OSU fan base. Let's talk about it. Cal McCord, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah. Will Howard, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Will Howard, those 2, you win the game. So was that really an upgrade? Let's talk about it. Also, gentlemen, of course, we heard this for over a year. For over a year. Connor Stallions. Right? We heard that. Yep. Right? Let's talk about it. But since now they can't say that anymore, thank you, Kinetic. Look at the new conspiracies. Look at the new conspiracies. Now they want this kicker's phone. They want to know his mother's name. They want to know why he ate for lunch. They want to know who's his girlfriend, who was his first prom date. They want everything because now this kicker apparently is conspiring with Michigan, and that's why he missed these field goals. Oh, but there's another one, Kinetic. Let's get to that one. If we can find it.
No, I got it. Hold on. Here we go.
I don't have control of it anymore.
Okay.
It's on Madman now.
There we go.
Here we go. Here we go now. Now we got the billionaires conspiring. Chip Kelly, because he had ties with the 49ers.
Your 49ers, by the way.
Chip Kelly and Ryan Day conspire to lose this game now. Guys, you can't make this up from this fan base. This is disgusting. Listen, I will never promote hate, but it's okay to hate the OSU fan base. Respectfully, nothing crazy. We're not here promoting violence, but they deserve everything. Let's talk about it. They deserve everything. The worst, arrogant fan base in America. Look at them, guys. Look at them the whole season, right? Let's talk about it. This is the worst. Reigning champions in history. You guys are the worst. There's no Connor. No way you win the 30th. Let's talk about it. You just lost to the worst reigning champions. $20 million roster. And you know what? OSU fans, what's the excuse now?
It was windy.
11 miles an hour.
Yo.
That's it, man. That's it.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And the last thing to all my OSU fans, stupid. 10 points. Stupid.
Shout out to the Maniac. Ripstar is funded by Larry Ellison.
Hey,
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, actually. Ripstar probably is funded by Larry Ellison.
Can we get one more stupid for the fact that Caleb Downs is, as far as I know,
another one.
Oh,
he's the only guy to transfer and lose to Michigan on 2 different teams in the same calendar year.
Jesus Christ.
Stupid.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah. How much you get paid? Like $2 million or something like that? Lose to Michigan twice.
As far as I know, he's the only guy to ever achieve that.
So, listen, bro, this is crazy. The only reason OSU is going to be in the playoffs because it's in an expanded playoff this year. You would have told me if we was still with the 4-team format, guess what? They would have been left out with a $20 million roster.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
McCord gave you 1 loss. Will Howard gave you 2, and you
Congratulations.
and tell me that he was an upgrade? Stupid.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Again.
Anyway, we got to get out of here, bro. We've been on here forever. Shout out to John Diadamo of the Voice College Football rocking with us for most of the night. Shout out to my guy Marmar, who was backstage rocking with us for most of the night. By the way, the biggest shout out got to go to this guy right here. This is my man right here, Antoine Johnson. We brought him back out of retirement. Shout out to Antoine. Of course, shout out to Ripstar. Dom, of course. DK came up. Cam came up. Keegan, shout out to Keegan. Shout out to Lich Max. Am I missing somebody? Who else came up?
What's that? Toes the Cane. I keep forgetting.
Became a member tonight. You should be a member.
There's a lot.
Detective Loki.
I would say this. Mello with the super chat earlier. You wasn't here.
Shout out to Mello. I didn't know he got the super
shout
chat.
to Posh. Posh tuned in earlier.
Oh, nice.
Shout to her.
Shout out to Posh.
Yeah, she's real nice.
Them vocals for the super chat. Ripstar again for the super chats. Detective Loki super chat. Mr. Jones, Kiyoki Kapana. Shout out to him. Dexter Green.
Hey, Keegan. Micah ball out in the bowl game.
Micah, that would be great. Zero Cool.
Hey.
Shout out to him.
Hey, when I get my taxes, I'll become a member.
Hey, yo, that's the blackest shit of all time. Anyway, I'm out of here. On that note, you know the slogan.
My bad.
Stay angry, my friends.
I'm upset.